I got a hold of a congressman, uh, Brett Guthrie's office, and I fired off the whole new form and filled everything out correctly, the new documents and everything. And then the very next morning, I got a notification from Brett's office that it sent me official documents that the chief of missions had received his documents and everything's looking good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jack and Terry Show. Today, our guest is Dewey Yopp. Dewey is a resident of Vine Grove, Kentucky, and he's a former chief training officer for the entire Afghan Army. The story you're going to hear today is going to amaze you, folks. This is very, very interesting stuff. You probably didn't know there was a guy like Dewey living right there in historic Vine Grove, Kentucky. Dewey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Terry. Jack, thank you.
Our pleasure. Jack, it's good to see you again. Folks, this is Jack Connicky. He's the granddaddy of all small businesses in Radcliffe. Owns one of the oldest businesses here, maybe the oldest business in Radcliffe. Jack, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Terry. Good to see you, Dewey.
Thanks, Jack.
Well, Jack, talking to Dewey a few weeks ago at church, we go to the same church. We've known each other for 25 years probably. We're from the same hometown. We've had different paths in life, but Dewey and I have bumped into each other off and on over these years. And Dewey's done some very fascinating things with his life. Dewey was the former training officer, chief training officer for the entire Afghan army during the Afghan war. Now think about this, what a rough environment that had to be. And he's done other things too. We probably won't get a chance to go into all of it. But I invited him on today to talk more about a project that he's working on, which is to help one of the people, a family that he ran into while he was in Afghanistan working, who worked with him, was a coworker, but an Afghanistan individual. And Dewey knows his family well. He's trying to help them get out of Afghanistan and get into this country where they can be safe. And these are really hardworking people. He'll tell us more about that. But Jack, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, what a wonderful world we live in that we in little Radcliffe, Kentucky, can be living and talking, living near to and talking to people that have experienced things like what Dewey has experienced. It's
Absolutely.
just amazing how our veterans and our military relationships are all so close together, and it's just some amazing people that come out, and we've talked
Sure
to a
is.
lot of them.
We have talked to a lot of them. And then a lot of people we just randomly run into. And when you listen to their story, it's amazing. Their story is
Yeah.
amazing. That's what happens when you listen to Dewey. So, Dewey, let's run out to you. I know you talked about the fact that you're working so hard in order to get the family that you worked with there in Afghanistan here. Let me ask you this. What actually endeared you to that family? What really attracted you to that particular family?
Well, when we first met, um, he was my coworker wasn't married at that time, so uh, the following year he was married, and then shortly thereafter they had their first child, a daughter. So she's soon to be 14.
Hmm.
So as the years, the 4 years that I've known and worked with him there, I got to know his family through their hospitality. Uh, I stayed at their home. They treated me just like anyone else in the family, sheltered me, protected me, those types of things. That's part of their culture, and it's a beautiful thing, really. And, I just got to know them personally. And I'd like to say the people I met, I had a whole different experience than most people that wore the uniform.
Right.
And I got to experience the people there and their foods. I lived
Mhm.
in their culture for that period of time. So I just started really admiring how hard they
Mhm.
worked and what a
Mhm.
chore it is just daily life, toting water, and that type of stuff, and it's a difficult lifestyle.
What about this though, Dewey? What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced in trying to get authorization from whomever, whether it's the Afghan government, the U.S. government, whomever the people are that have to make the judgment on this? What kind of challenges are you facing there?
It's really been difficult. It's been a challenge, an uphill battle the whole way. It's from the very beginning. Well, they started the special immigrant visa process during the Iraqi war. So this carried over into Afghanistan. So the same promises were told and understood to the Afghan people who fought and by our side and did tasks and duty there for us and our people to support the war effort. And once that plane took off, it's kind of everybody forgot about the Afghan
Mm,
people. And anyway, the SIV program was been broken, and they haven't had a lot of help up there at the National Visa Center for the last two administrations. So they
wow.
hired recently this year hired a good number of folks, and it moved along quickly. But it took 8 months to get the first reply back from the National Visa Center that they had received his documents, but there was one missing. So we entered that back in there, and in that time frame, check back periodically, and talk to them on the telephone about what his status was and where the program was running. And I'd get a lot of the standard answer, we've got thousands and thousands of people, and we're looking at this and that, and we see that you sent it in this date. So I waited another 90 days, 3 more months. So it's been over a year, and I finally find out through talking to two different supervisors that they had lost his documents. So I got a hold of a congressman, uh, Brett Guthrie's office, and I fired off the whole new form and filled everything out correctly, the new documents and everything. And then the very next morning, I got a notification from Brett's office that it sent me official documents that the chief of missions had received his documents and everything's looking good, and they're doing the review right now. So that's a good
Wow.
step. So it's going to take at least another year to get to where he can get his
Mm,
family and himself out of there. So it's not just him anymore. It's
right.
himself and his wife,
And
six
some
daughters and two
kids.
sons. Yeah.
We all wish you well on being able to complete the project. And I know it's more than a project to you, but it is a project. You get up every day, you work on it, you push a few go buttons, contact who you can, do what you can. I know they're in need of money. They're in need of a lot of things. Primarily getting them out of there is going to change their life. I know you said he's actually a dentist by now, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
already graduated from dental school. We could
Yes.
use a dentist or two here. We could
Yeah.
definitely
two
use a
months ago.
dentist. 2 months ago. Well, let me ask you this, and we'll leave it at this, Dewey. What can people do to help you help them? What can people do if they want to get involved and help you?
Well, they can contact me on I can give you my cell phone number,
Okay.
and they can contact me, and we can talk about what they're able to do or willing to do. And there's lots of different things to consider, uh, to include funding.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so far it's been very easy for me to get funds to him to support their family of 10 and maintain their welfare and healthy environment as best I can for the last over a year now. So anything else like, you want to start a donation of, food products or something, I can store that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'd appreciate anything, but you can contact me at 270-319-2045 24/7.
There you go. That's a good idea. Well, Dewey, before we close this out, I'll just have a couple of comments to make. I really appreciate your hard work. I wasn't aware that you were working on this project until you brought it up at church. Dewey did a presentation at church, Jack, slideshow presentation. It's amazing to see the conditions under which a lot of these folks are being forced to live. He's doing all the hard work you're doing there for coming on the show today to about it.
Well, I appreciate it, Terry, guys, very much. I appreciate that. Looking forward to some good news.
You'll get it. So thanks again, Dewey. Jack, you, and we'll see you on Sunday. You're going to be in Radcliffe. You come to church with at the.
That's on the agenda.
It should be. You're going to love it. He'll love it, won't he, Dewey?
Yeah, you'll love it, Jack.
All
I've
right.
been there once.
Well,
Hey,
will
two
you?
thumbs up, buddy.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks a lot. Take
All
care.
Thanks.
right, Terry. Thank you.
See you later.